what's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is Mama Manifests here. I was feeling some of you kind of call out to me. You guys are, looking for some guidance right now. So I definitely wanted to get on and do a reading. This is just going to be a general energy collective reading. And so if you've clicked on this video, there's a reason and there's a message in here that you need to hear. All right. So I am burning some Palo Santo right now to kind of balance out the energies before we go ahead and jump in. I do feel like a fear-based energy. This might be for some of you who my last two general energy readings are for. I have a feeling it's going to be tied to those situations. Now, if you didn't watch those two, so they're the last two readings I literally posted, might have some messages for you in there, right? Okay. So yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. I hope everybody is well. I hope you guys are. With this energy, you guys, I feel like we need to be alchemizing it. And that is just a process we go through and we learn how to do. It's best not to fight it. It's best not to judge it. It's best not to try and make it go away. It's best not to be angry at it, right? Just find acceptance in however you are feeling in this moment. Find acceptance with that. And that is like kind of like that magic area, right? We need to find the beauty in the highs and the lows, right? The earth experience is, it has polarity and, there's beauty in that. And I don't know about you guys, but my times of biggest soul evolution and soul growth were during the times of adversity, and that's where I grew. And so, I enjoy the fun times, and I enjoy the carefree times, and I enjoy those higher vibrations, but the real knowledge and the real wisdom comes from learning how to deal with adversity. So don't forget that. Think about how much wiser you are now, having gone through all the adversity throughout your life and throughout this journey. And that's just something to remember. And the way you're going to alchemize this energy is by feeling it, taking the time, right? Taking the time and the space. It's going to be an alone space, at least a day, because if you're dealing with, I think in the last two readings, we talked about betrayal and heartbreak and things of that nature. And when we're dealing with those types of energies, whether or not you're dealing with a breakup, betrayal, loss of a close family member or friend, any type of situation that would involve grief, we must then, and what we are supposed to do is alchemize that energy to raise the vibration of this planet and help other people. That's what we do with the new energy form of that old energy and of processing it. So the way to alchemize, again, is to feel it. Allow yourself to cry and just work through it. Some of you, your tears are more easily accessible than others. But if I put on a frequency, I think I put in like sadness frequency to kind of work through that. And I listened to that for a while, just allowing that energy to come to the surface, reflect upon that energy, surrender that energy, accept that energy, and then ultimately be able to move gradually out of that space and feel peace and contentment once again. And not only just peace and contentment, but that alchemized energy, right? You can kind of turn it into that Ace of Wands energy. You can turn it into the Ace of Wands energy to create something that you would like to, that's going to create beauty in this world. Because as light workers, as people, doing this work intentionally, that's what we're here to do. We're here to, turn our pain into something beautiful. Okay. So that was a message before the message. So special shout out to my best Amanda. Okay. She gifted me 3 decks yesterday, 2 of which I'm going to use in this reading. Here's the other one. And I'm just so excited. It's always like Christmas for me as a tarot reader when I get a new deck. They keep me busy for days. So I just wanted to send my special gratitude to her for these new decks. We're going to try them out. These are going to be new decks to the channel if you've been following me for a little bit of time. And then I'm going to use the Fairy Tale Oracle. Actually, I'm going to use that first. So I'm actually going to start shuffling that. I'm looking, I mean, more than one may come out, but I'm looking to see, you know, what is some of the overall energy here for this collective message. Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for giving us the wisdom of what to do with pain. Thank you for allowing us to surrender. Thank you for allowing us to have tools. Thank you for the tools. Thank you for the wisdom of the tools that we can use to help ourselves and navigate through, you know, these situations, and use these types of situations to, in fact, help others and shine beauty in their lives. Please help us to remember our strength. Please help us to remember our faith. And please help us to see ourselves and the world through the eyes of love. Give us courage, please. Thank you so much. And as I articulate these messages, please have them flow through the channels of divinity, love, and light. We thank you. We thank you. We're grateful. All right, you guys. Okay, I love this. This is a fun energy. This is enchantment, okay? And it's a card 21, which breaks down to a 3, which is a fun. Threes are fun for me because threes are magic. They also talk about the mind, body, and the soul. But you're on a magical journey, right? And when you look at life through that lens and situations through that lens, like, you're discovering new things, you know? You have learned all there is to learn as far as like the third dimension experience goes. You may have experienced a lot of things, and now you're in that place. It's almost like a childlike sense of wonder and awe and joy, right? If we remember that part and the exciting aspect of our own spiritual journey in and of itself, the magic, the fun, it creates a different and lighter energy. It's enchantment. It's finding the light, right? While we're going through, right, the forest, because I get this forest energy off this card, you know, it can be a little bit confusing. I mean, there, you know, people get lost in forests, and, you know, it could be a little bit scary at times, but it is a journey back into self, and it is a journey back into healing and healing itself. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing. We truly, sometimes we forget it, and I know I've said this before in a reading, but we are truly blessed to have this knowledge, right? Think about your life before you were intentionally expanding your consciousness. It was frivolous. It didn't have any direction. There was no aim. There was no purpose. There was no toolkit. We need not forget that, okay? Because we're blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed. Okay, no more from this deck, I don't think. Okay, it just wanted that one. That's a beautiful energy, because sometimes this deck can go into some really the lower vibrational energies that we must walk through. So this card popping out, it's a beautiful one. It's a beautiful one. And they are really having me focus on the higher vibrations, right? Because, and I'm not saying for you guys not to feel your pain, but I have a feeling we've been going through that energy, that grieving energy. And now it's time to be the leaders and set the example for those around us. You know, we could be going through the most adverse situations of our life, but we're not going to inspire people just by having an amazing life, right? The way we inspire them, and what inspires me the most, is how people deal with their adverse circumstances. The strength, right? When I see the strength in people and how they're overcoming things, it's amazing to me, right? And that's who you are. That's who you are. And that's what you have been doing. And the guidance here is to just continue doing that. So, yeah. Wow. Look at that. Appreciation. First of all, first message coming through is your guides want you to know how much they appreciate you and the work that you're doing. Sometimes we forget on this path to really think about and reflect on how much growth there has been. You have had so much courage on your journey. You are courageous. You are courageous, and they're sending their appreciation to you. On top of that, like show appreciation for the things in your life. And that's going to obviously bring it, because the more we're grateful, the more of that which comes into our life. So if you're grateful for the love that you are able to feel the gratitude for that. And in doing so, you will attract more love. We have the angel of love here. You are an angel of love. Your heart chakra is stronger than, it's just your strongest ability. Your ability to love and be loved, even though you may not have been able to exercise that based on trauma in the past, that's who you truly are. You are an angel of love. You are an earth angel of love on this planet. Don't forget that. And sometimes when we go through grief or a broken heart, the first response, the trauma response, is fight or flight. Some people decide to completely turn off their heart chakra just based upon how badly it hurt when they allowed themselves to be vulnerable. Now, the person I am reading for has been vulnerable in the past, and because of that vulnerability, opened up the heartbreak. That heartbreak is something that your soul signed up for as an evolving experience before you came to this planet, okay? And be empowered, understanding and knowing that, right? These heartbreaks and these most adverse moments are the biggest moments of growth and opportunity. And you are somebody who has been going through them and is currently going through that. And instead of choosing to become resentful, retaliate, take it out on others, you are deciding to alchemize that. That takes courage. Not only do I appreciate you, but your angels and your guides appreciate you as well. Wow. Huge message for some of you. I'm going to shuffle and see what comes out. What other messages do we have to add to this beautiful reading? What other messages do we have? Yeah, everything's balancing out right now. I've been, playing with these new decks, right? And this card has come out so many times, like all the balance, anything, like the yin and the yang, like whatever it can be, you are balancing out right now. Everything is balancing out. Your emotional body's balancing out. Your intellect's balancing out. The journey requires, we talk about this a lot, that roller coaster of emotion, those really polarizing high and lows. And if you've been feeling like you've been going through an extreme low to the point where it's actually scared you, what the message is coming in for you is you are being balanced out. And that is what the process looks like, especially if you are somebody who's dealt with a lot of trauma in your life. Right? It's so you can see and identify where those traumas actually are. And then you can, in turn, that's where the power comes in, heal them, identify them, come to peace with them, alchemize them. That's what I feel like this angel is doing right here. Wow. There's so much like angelic. These are all angel cards, okay? And I just love angelic energy, There's a very, at least for me as an observer, there's a very eloquent, beautiful, and divine way that they communicate with us. And I love that they're really wanting to be here. The angels are really wanting to be here to provide you with that nourishment to your soul and the medicine that you need right now after going through. They realize that's a message definitely coming through. They realize like how they're not here, right? And they're not going through the polarity that you have been through. But they do want me to acknowledge, like, it can be really scary in those lows. It can be really scary in those lows, but you are not crazy. You are not, whatever labels any others have tried to put on you, you are none of those things, right? You are none of those negative things. You are an angel of love. You're an angel of love. You're an angel of love. Wow. We're going to get 2 more shuffles here. Then we're going to go into a Celtic cross. All right, let's see what we got here, you guys. Yeah, this is right after, right? The 4 of air is the 4 of swords, if you will, because this is a tarot deck. This isn't an oracle deck, but it's a little bit different than anything I've used, right? But the 4 of swords it comes right after the 3 of swords. And the 3 of swords is that heartbreak energy. So yes, this is the time of reflection. Take time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. This is that alchemization process that I was talking about. This is what you have been doing. And it could feel really low while you're going through this energy, right? This is where the meditation comes in. This is a healing energy. This is taking, like for me, I planned out today, I knew that because, and what the prior readings have said, I knew that I needed to take today, right? I watched a little bit of football. That's because, my go Browns, go Cleveland. All right. That's because, they went to the playoffs and it's been real history for Cleveland, and I love my hometown. Side note, but I did allow some time for that today. But yeah, I allowed myself to really just kind of rest. I did a light cleaning. I didn't expect too much out of myself today because I really wanted to take the time while I had it to release, right? Included some crying, to meditate. I put on some, release of negative energy from my house. I Palo Santo'd my cards. I ate a home cooked meal. I took a light walk, nothing too intense because there were too many people there. And while I'm processing this energy, being around too many people is really a little bit anxiety inducing for me. But yes, this is, where we're at right now. You guys get what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. Wow. There's new energy here, right? We have the Ace of Pentacles and you're creating something right now. This is brand new, beautiful energy, the inflow of abundance, right? Whatever this situation was that caused heartbreak, loss, grief, whatever it is, there's something about it that was there was a healing process. This came up in the last reading that needed to happen for you to see certain aspects of yourself. And it goes along with moving into this next cycle of energy, right? There is a big level up for the collective right now and for the people who have been doing the work. That is what's happening right now. Okay. Rewarded for your due diligence, but anything that's out of integrity with this new energy has to get the hell out of your way. It just does, okay? But just know that there's so much better waiting for you on the other side. There's a new level of healing, right? For a lot of you, I feel like you're going to channel this into your work. You're going to channel this into your spiritual work. You're going to channel this energy into something that you can see. And that's freaking awesome. Whoa. Wow. This is all about, here's the thing. You've always been strong. You've been strong your whole life. That's why the situations in your life haven't broke you. Situations that would have broke other people, they did not, in fact, break you. You not only got through those situations, but you did without tainting your heart space, without becoming a vengeful person. Maybe at times you felt those emotions, but that is completely normal. It's not about judging yourself for feeling those emotions. It's about making the effort to do better, okay? This is all about your strength. Major Arcana, the master number here, card 11, Okay? Great inner strength. Really, I love it how it says it right on here. Release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. Exactly what I was saying. No matter what you have been through in your life, and even this last situation, you still choose forgiveness and compassion. And that is why the angels want to thank you. That takes an angel of balance. That takes you. That takes an angel of love. Look at this. Look at the energy. There is, like, I want to be there right now. Instead of processing my emotions, right? The Four of Air, I would rather be here hanging out. But, that wouldn't be wise because, we got to process the emotions. But this is all about you finding your inner strength and knowing it and understanding it, right? You're stronger than you ever realized you were. As you reflect, as you go in this Four of Swords energy and reflect on what you've been through, you just observe your strength and you're like, yeah, I might be a badass. I might be. Here we go. You've been allowing yourself to to be loving. You've been patient with the process. Empathy has been at the forefront. And on top of it, you are an empath. You feel very, very deeply. And that's the gift that you have to help this world, right? It's a gift. When we're moving throughout the matrix and we're living our lives in that third dimension, dense energy, we turn off our emotions. There's an insensitivity in that dimension, okay? There's not a lot of feeling. I remember, I couldn't taste, like everything increases. All of your senses increase. Your emotional body, I'm sure you can smell a lot better now, unless you had COVID. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at that, but you know what I mean. You can see better, you can hear better. You probably, on the flip side, you might be more sensitive to harsh sounds and things like that. But yeah, you've peeled this whole process that you've been going through. You're peeling yourself back like the layers of an onion to find the core, to find the nucleus of who you truly are. And that is an angel of love. And this is also following your intuition. You've been following your intuition on this path despite other people's opinions. That's what creates this tension, is you do things that may not make sense to people still operating off of the ego system, not having an understanding or an awareness of the world. Like their onion still has a lot of layers, right? You've been peeling back for quite a while, so you can see things from a different perspective, and you have followed your intuition. Okay, here it is. This is it. I was just in this energy. This is the Nine of Swords, right? This is really that fear-based energy that I was talking about. And if this isn't, it's going to stay around until it's dealt with. And the Nine of Swords will stay around. And it could end up, if you don't know how to do it, in an explosion, right? Not being able to handle your feelings or understand how to process anger and sadness and grief. And no matter if you don't deal with it, it's just not going to go away. You have to deal with it. It will manifest into, this is what we see. It can manifest into illness. It can manifest into resentment. It can manifest into outbursts, right? Not being able to control your anger. It's because it's boiling over. And so really, if you've been in this energy, and on top of it, this is another message coming through, because I feel like a dream-like image on this card is, if you've been having nightmares, those nightmares are showing you what you need, what fears you need to deal with, right? Nightmares are fear itself. Nightmares are going back to something inside of you that hasn't been dealt with, that needs to be dealt with. So if you've dealt with loss, if you're dealing with grief, fear is going to come up. And those fears are going to look differently for each and every one of you. But knowing what those fears are, we then can take the steps to face them and overcome them. Okay? Ah, look at this. And then we can release it, right? Once we identify what it is, we can then release it. I love this. This is a card 13, reducing down to a 4, which is all about your foundation made of stability. Your foundation, whatever this situation was no longer in vibrational alignment, okay? So, just a side note, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. And this is all about just energetically releasing a situation that you've been trying to control. There's a situation here. The fears only come up when there's an aspect we don't trust the divine with. There's an aspect we're like, you know what? I trust the divine with all of these things, but when it comes to this one thing, and this is going to be different for each and every one of you, I don't have trust there. And you need to ask yourself why. It's because those fears are so big, you want to control them, because if you feel like if you don't interject in the divine's work, it's not going to create the outcome you want. You have to be detached from the outcome. Be detached from the outcome. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't. Do you accept both of those roads? Do you trust that the divine has an absolutely beautiful, beautiful life that you guys are co-creating together? Do you trust your divine soul plan? Do you trust the journey that you've been on thus far? Yeah, there's a lot of intense energy here, you guys, a lot. And I like how they opened it up. I never know. They opened it up with me reminding you of who the heck you are, because this is how you're seeing yourself right now. The 5 of Pentacles. Fear of being just abandoned. This is an abandonment wound. This is going back to that. There's a reason that you signed up for this journey, to understand that. But for some of you, there's fear surrounding money. How are you going to take care of yourself? Right now, the divine is asking you to get into receiving mode. You have a lot of good energy waiting for the floodgates to just open. And that's going to be an abundance of creative energy, your knowledge, like your actual logical energy, and abundance of direction, decisiveness, passion, and emotional manifestation. For a lot of you, it's just about processing this, because this is the block here. This is what the block is here. The fear and the control. Believe in yourself. For some of you, this situation is definitely about a relationship. It's this is a soul connection here. This is a situation, whatever this is, it's huge. It is like that kept coming up. Your soul plan, your soul contract. Like, I don't know if that verbiage ever really comes up in my readings. At least it hasn't much yet. But what I'm really feeling here is this is something that was predestined. Okay, this is long-standing. Not only are you growing from this situation, but the other party involved is going through massive growth. Do you see the green here? This is all about love itself. This is all about learning, like we opened it up, learning to, and just learning forgiveness. All is well. All is well here. Whether you can see it or not, the higher frequency realms and the angelic realms, which also is a higher frequency realm, is doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So much work is being done behind the scenes. Trust that. Trust that. Release the attachment to outcome. I put a community post up earlier, and now it's coming up again, about a God box exercise. And this is just going to be any receptacle, any container. It could be a box, whatever. I put mine in a Christmas box. Okay. It has Frosty the Snowman on it. And I wrote down a little prayer, very short. And I say, to my guides, angels, God, I don't know who else I addressed it to, all of those, all of them. And I just said, can you please take over these situations in my life? And then I wrote down all the situations that I have fear attached to that I would like to release. And this is going to be a ritual, right? A ritual, an energetic ritual where you're placing your attention on it, and it's going to then release some of this energy and release, right? Release. It's going to allow the newer energy to come in, this Ace of Pentacles energy to flow in, the help to come in, the balance to be restored, because we have the angel of balance here. Yeah. Don't be afraid of standing up for yourself. Don't be afraid of independence. Don't be afraid of your ability to find your way. Trust your ability to find your way. This card is asking you to clear away all that no longer serves you. Okay? And I think we talked about that a lot in this reading. The Queen of Swords, she's protecting her heart space. Always. She's protecting what she created. In my last reading, we had the Ace of Cups with the Queen of Swords over it. Okay? And that is you protecting your kingdom. But don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid. Some of you, for sure, some throat chakra healing to be able to clearly, because some of you within the next couple of weeks here, there's going to be some form of communication that you have to take part in, okay? And right now, you're like, absolutely not. I can feel some of you saying that. I'm not communicating anything. I'm not talking. I'm not saying anything. Well, that's because you are still holding on to it and you haven't released it. But I am going to say, for some of you, you're going to have to say something, right? And you're going to have to say something, and you're going to be balanced in this, and it's going to just come to you, and you're going to know when and where. Don't overthink that either. It's just a message coming in for some of you that you are going to deliver whatever needs to be delivered in the most beautiful, magnificent, divine way. And if you're not there yet, please don't do that, right? Like, I'm just saying that is a message, right? There's something that's going to need to be said on your behalf. And you're going to have the words that you need. They are going to come to you. Okay? Don't give up, you guys. Come on. We have the 9. This is the wounded warrior. Okay? The 9 of Wands. This is completely shutting down and, protecting yourself and being on guard. That's, that can happen when we're learning about our inner strength. This is teaching you about having courage, right? In the face of adversity. When we're in the 9 of Wands energy, it can be a little more challenging to get up and do the things that we need to do and trust the process and believe in the process. And right now is one of those moments where it may not feel good to do the 4 of Swords energy, to release this energy, to be in the 9 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles energy, right? It may not feel good, but you in fact have the courage to overcome this. It says right here too, protect that which you've created. Protect it. Look at, this is her creation here. It's like a ball, and she, it's everything, and she's holding it up. It's what she values, right? Everything that you've worked so hard for, if any situation is adding negative energy to that, let it go. This is for protection, for yourself. And it's for everybody involved. There's divinity happening here. Trust that too. You might be the only person consciously learning, maybe the other person is too, but there's a lot of growth happening with all parties involved here. I'm going to get one from the Transcendent Journeys and one from the Work Your Light, and then we're going to close out. This is just going to be, there's that soul family card again. Yeah, I mean, it just comes out so much. Yeah, this is not that the other person is like a bad, right? That the other party involved is like I don't believe in that. I believe, we all make good and bad decisions based on our own survival, especially survival when we don't have, when we don't have the wisdom acquired, right? Okay, anyway, I don't even know where I was going there, but I definitely just saw the Unbound card, and you're being freed right now. You're being freed. Allow it to happen. This is what you've wanted. This is what you've wanted. You value freedom in all regards, right? You value freedom for yourself and for all. Okay. And so that's what's happening because that is what you value, right? Yeah. The storm here. I love this card. I love this card, you guys, because it's the initiation. And I always talk about how, you're being decorated, right? You're being decorated in the angelic and spiritual realms. You're earning new rites of passage, right? You are earning that. You have earned that. You're moving into a more beautiful place than you have ever experienced on this earth. That's where you're going. Anything that was the best you've ever felt, well, you're going to better. You're going to better, okay? But while we're going through that in the transition, it's the breakdown for the breakthrough. It may feel stormy right now. It may feel stormy, but to trust. I mean, you're going somewhere sacred. You're being initiated. Trust the initiation process, you guys. Trust it. Trust it. Trust it. Oh my gosh, there's just some of you, if you only knew how much more than okay this situation's going to turn out. If you only knew the beauty on the other side, whatever you're feeling right now wouldn't be so heightened. It wouldn't feel so intense. Take a deep breath, some of you, right now. Let's go. I don't mean to sound militant. I love you guys. Oh, I can feel it in my back now. Oh, you guys. Ooh, heart chakra, solar plexus chakra. Definitely. Definitely. What further message do we have to add here? Come on. There you go. Raise your frequency. I want to read it out of the book. Raise your frequency. Sometimes I tell you guys to go ahead and feel through it. And you guys have been doing that. That's how you found yourself in these weird energies, is because you're not quite right through it. But you're at the point where it's now time to raise your frequency. You've went down and you've done the work with the 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Air. You've been spending the time, and the way you're going to release it and then get in the downloads that are going to come in, the spiritual enlightenment, is by raising your frequency. So now is in fact the time to raise your frequency. Okay. Let's read it out of the book and then we'll close. I love you guys so much, and you are loved. If you only knew how loved you are, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel that way. But I don't mean to laugh, but I just laugh because it's like, if you guys only knew. Aspire to raise your frequency so you can access the codes for the next level, right? You are meant to be a trans-dimensional being. Mary Magdalene sits in her cave in France writing wisdom teachings. 12 strands of DNA are shown in her hair. Often thought of as an illuminator or initiator into the mysteries, Mary Magdalene was probably a hybrid of I don't know who the Lyrians, or Pleiadian genes. A lot of you, yeah, I mean, you're Pleiadians. I know I identify as a Pleiadian. Some of you might not, there's different ones. Maybe, I don't know where I can post it. I'll put it in the description box below. And I have done a lot of research on star beings and star seeds, but it just will give you more information about what crystals to use for you, right? And you'll be able to self-identify from this, but it has all the different star seeds and basically the years that certain ones were born, and based on all that, the way you feel, the way you show up in the world, right? Your challenges and things like that. You'll be able to, I trust that you will be able to put yourself and find which category, subcategory. And like I said, this is just going to help you to have a deeper understanding within yourself, your soul journey, and like I said, some crystals that might be more helpful than others for you especially. Okay? She incarnated to enlighten humankind. That's you. Adding her DNA to our complex mix. Today, scientists are finding evidence of alien signals and codes spliced into our DNA. You have the opportunity to add your own profound experiences to our collective consciousness. Bear this in mind when making life decisions. We all contribute to our shared evolution. Okay? So you're a being that literally came here at this period in time to spread your light. And if you have children or want children, to keep keep spreading that type of energy, your frequency on this planet, to make this planet a more enjoyable experience for all, for humans. This has been a beautiful message, you guys. Absolutely beautiful. It's going to be okay. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Namaste and God bless.